There are hundreds of interesting vehicles in War Thunder, but even on that list, there are a few machines that clearly stand out. The special ones, the biggest, the heaviest, or let's say the smallest ones. Why not? This video is about the most impressive ground vehicles of War Thunder and all associated records. Let's start with something simple. What is the biggest tank ever built that immediately comes to mind? No surprises here. Say hi to the Maus. This super heavy tank is more than 10 meters long. Next to this colossus, other vehicles look like toys. By the way, the Maus also holds another record. It's the heaviest combat vehicle ever built. 188 tons. It's like 7 T-34s stacked onto each other. Does that also mean that it has the gun with the highest caliber? Nope. This record is held by the British FV4005, which carries a 183mm cannon. Just to give you a point of reference, an average man can easily fit his whole head in the barrel without even touching the sides of it with his ears. The shell this gun uses, the Shell L1, is quite amazing in its own right. Can you guess, without Googling it, how much explosive filler does it have? 3 kilograms? 5? 10? Nah, not even close. 30. Yep, almost 30 kilos of TNT equivalent explosives. It's like a small aerial bomb that travels at the speed of 700 meters per second and punches through more than 200 millimeters of armor. Which tank has the largest gun, then? The Germans have a very good claim to that record. One of the Tiger variants has a 105mm gun that is as long as the whole T-34, but it's still just the second place, because the first place is occupied by the Soviet Object 120. Let's park the French FCM-36 light support tank next to it for scale. This French vehicle holds the record for the shortest gun, by the way. Well, should we say more? Behold the M69 cannon in all its monstrous glory. This beast can hit targets that are up to 5 kilometers away, and in many cases just burst right through their armor to boot. It's not all about cannons, though. Some tanks are capable of firing rockets as well. And when it comes to wreaking havoc with rockets, the American Calliope is the undisputable champion. It has a 60-round, 60-round rocket rack that fires 114mm rockets. Even if you use 3 rockets to deal with every single enemy, it will still be enough to wreck 20 opponents. The next logical step in the evolution of armaments were the ATGMs, and obviously there are some records, and anti-records to discuss here as well. The Japanese Type 60 ATM's missiles travel at a very slow speed of 85 meters per second, which means that you might have just enough time to pour yourself a cup of tea and even get some sandwiches going while it flies to its target. The vehicle with the fastest ATGM is the American Sheridan, 323 meters per second. Of course, it's still nothing compared to conventional shells, but you can guide the missiles. A huge plus. All right, enough talk about weapons. Let's talk about people. The Soviet multi-turreted T-35 is manned by a crew of 10. That's the biggest tank crew we have in the game. 10 people. Enough for a decent party. What's on the other side of the spectrum? Are there any vehicles operated by a single, lonely tanker? Nope. But there are some operated by a team of 2. For instance, the Italian L333cc tank destroyer, which is driven by just a duo of hot-blooded Italian dudes. Being just as big as a track of the Maus, it's only a bit more than a shoebox on tracks with a gun. Our book of records would certainly be incomplete without some records involving mobility. The first clear champion here is not the Italian-wheeled Centauro, It's actually another Italian vehicle, the R3 T106 FA. Its max speed in arcade, in ideal conditions, is 128 kph, while in RB it can, in theory, reach the speed of 115 kph. At the same time, the British Archer has the honour of being the slowest vehicle in the game. Its max speed when moving forward, or in reverse, which is kind of the same thing here, is only 4 kph. We have to say, though, that there is another strong contender here, the American T95, with a top speed of less than 13 kph, and that's really just going forward, without any Archer shenanigans. Which vehicle can boast the fastest reload rate? Keep in mind that here we do not account for the low-rank vehicles. The French Lorraine 40T can shoot around every 4 seconds, given you still have some ammo in the drum-style autoloader. But what if we exclude the vehicles with drum autoloaders? Then we have 2 tanks claiming the same mantle, the American Abrams and the Japanese Type 90. Both take only 5 seconds to reload, but in the case of the former, it's all thanks to the efforts of the dedicated loader, and in the case of the latter, it's all about that autoloader. That's not all, though. If we strive to find the absolute best when it comes to fire rate, and we're ready to look at some less impressive calibers, then it has to be the American M163. What can we say? Its creators just decided to mount an M61 Vulcan rotary cannon on a tracked chassis. 6 barrels of a Vulcan are capable of firing at an extremely high rate, more than 3,000 rounds per minute, more than enough to make any aircraft disappear, or to mow down a small grove. What records come to your mind? Please do tell us in the comments below.